Hello and welcome back to EFD. Shock, we have another top 10 for you, but this time it's 10 of the greatest players who have proved to be irreplaceable at their club. 10. Patrick Vieira. Arsenal might currently be battling Burnley for 6th place, having missed their only chance to get into the Champions League, losing the Europa League semis against Atletico. But rewind to the early noughties, and Arsenal were dominating domestically, as well as competing in Europe. Wenger's success in North London might have diminished over the last years of his reign, as critics have constantly slated the Gunners for their lack of power, aggression and leadership. Before 2005, with Patrick Vieira heading the line at Highbury, this wasn't such a problem. The powerhouse captain commanded midfield in the side that bullied their rivals and went unbeaten in the league. Vieira famously took the lead from inside the tunnel with focus and furiosity, which seems a world away from the timid team now lining up at the Emirates. The Frenchman's leadership and power haven't been replaced in the last decade, with a long list of unsuccessful successors including Denilson and Alex Song. The closest has been Cesc Fabregas, who captained the club in 2008, but he's now controlling play on the opposite side of London in blue, proving that with the captain's exit of the club came their defensive discipline, physical dominance and ability to bully opponents, as Patrick's position is still awkwardly vacant 13 years on. 9. Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez is currently on track to win his 4th La Liga title since moving to Catalonia in 2014. But before dominating in Spain, Suarez was dragging Brendan Rodgers' Liverpool to the dizzy heights of 2nd in the league, pretty much single-handedly. Over his 4-season-long stint in Merseyside, Suarez contributed 23 assists and 69 goals. That's a direct goal contribution more than once a game. With biting incidents, a range of disciplinary problems and whining to the British press, Suarez's departure out of Anfield was disappointing, if not anticipated. His exit, however, was made all the worse by their inability to find a suitable replacement. Having earned the Reds €80 million, they should have been able to reinvest that money into another world-class goalscorer. Instead, they opted to buy Ricky Lambert and Mario Balotelli, who in the season that followed scored just 3 Premier League goals between them. For seasons, they played catch-up as Liverpool dropped out of the top 4 without their talisman up front. This season, Klopp's Kop have watched their team climb back up the league and have only Real Madrid standing in the way of Champions League success, with Mo Salah and a goal per 90 minutes suggesting at long last they've found their replacement. 8. Gianluigi Buffon. At the end of this season, Juventus will say arrivederci to the old lady's old man as Gianluigi Buffon retires his gloves for good. The 40-year-old has made over 500 appearances for Juventus, having first moved to Turin in 2001. Over 18 years, he's been immovable between the sticks and a pivotal part of the club that have won 10 Serie A titles in that time. Holding the record for the most minutes ever played by a Juve player, Buffon is still producing top-level stats despite his time naturally taking a hit with age. Per 90 minutes, the World Cup winner is keeping 0.6 clean sheets. That's 0.1 above David De Gea, who's in his prime, albeit behind a much less competent defence than Juve's. Buffon matches the 27-year-old with saves per goal, with the pair making 4 saves every time they concede. While Szczesny has surprised everyone in Italy as a decent backup for Mr. Juventus, it's impossible for Mr. Marlborough to fill the legendary boots left by Gigi. 7. Steven Gerrard. From one club legend to the next, much like Buffon with Juventus, you see a Liverpool jersey and automatically fill it with Steven Gerrard. The one-club man turned down deals with bigger teams, picking loyalty over glory for 17 years. While his trophy cabinet may be scarce without a single league title and just 2 FA Cup medals, his success in Istanbul probably weighs more for the Scouser. Having earned bronze in the Ballon d'Or in 2005, Pelé, Zidane and Messi have all been loud in singing the midfielder's praises. He holds the record for the most appearances in the Premier League, Team of the Year and a slot in the all-time Champions League 11. When the home-grade talent left Liverpool for Los Angeles in 2015, the Reds had a gaping hole in their midfield and in their dressing room. Jordan Henderson has been handed the baton and armband, but with it came pressure and expectation, when really his likeness to Gerrard stops at their similar haircuts, as it seems that Stevie G's legendary status at Anfield might not ever be matched. 6. N'Golo Kante. Leicester City made Premier League history when they somehow won the title in 2016. The Foxes' march to the title was down to their team spirit, fueled by pizzas after every win, and N'Golo Kante was driving behind Riyad Mahrez and Jamie Vardy as they topped the table 10 points clear of Arsenal in second. Despite huge clubs coming in for the title-winning stars, Vardy and Mahrez opted to stay in the Midlands. Kante, however, made the wise decision to ride on his success and moved to West London, where he became the first player to win consecutive titles with different clubs. In contrast, Leicester went into a sharp decline without their key cog in their midfield, sliding from the Champions League spots to the dogfight of the drop zone. The club have been unable to find an equally talented anchor to replace him, and with their title wins long forgotten, it's unlikely that they'll attract that kind of talent to the King Power anytime soon. 5. Rogério Ceni. Sao Paulo are undoubtedly never going to be able to replace their goalkeeping legend Rogério Ceni, who played over 1,250 games for the Brazilian club. His career between the sticks spanned over 25 years, in which he gained 20 major titles. But the real reason Ceni is irreplaceable is that the keeper scored 65 goals for his club, putting him in the top all-time goal scorers for the Faith team. The set-piece specialist has scored mainly from penalty spots and free kicks, with just one goal coming in open play. Between 2004 and 2007, he broke the record for the most goals ever scored by a keeper, having netted 47 times in 3 seasons. Also part of Brazil's 2002 World Cup winning squad, Ceni's career would take something special to be replicated. 4. Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer could technically enter this list twice for being an irreplaceable asset for both Blackburn Rovers and Newcastle United. Repeatedly turning down interest from Ferguson's Manchester United, Shearer won the 1994-95 league title with the Rovers before heading back to his boyhood club in '96 for a record-breaking £15 million. The 2002-03 season saw Newcastle's highest finish since 1997, with Shearer contributing a goal every other game to take them to 3rd place. Over a decade at St James's, he scored 148 Premier League goals. While he may not have won any notable silverware for the Magpies, he carried them to competing at the very top of European football, a feat that must seem alien to Newcastle fans today. Finally retiring for good in 2006, Shearer became the Prem's all-time goalscorer, with over 200 league goals. With 148 of those coming in the Geordies black and white, he has scored 100 and more than any other player ever in Newcastle's history. Literally head and shoulders, arms and legs above his compatriots. 3 years on from his retirement and Mike Ashley's club were relegated to the Championship, with the biggest icon to come out of the Tyneside club since probably being that guy from Goal. Great film. 3. Andrea Pirlo. Pirlo is potentially only competed by Xabi Alonso as the coolest footballer on the planet, but he's totally unrivaled as AC Milan's biggest loss. At the end of the 2011 campaign, the Milanese club bid farewell to their playmaker as they deemed him to be past it at 32 years old. Having run down his contract, he joined Juve on a free where he proved he still had it. Winning 4 Serie A titles, a Coppa Italia and 2 Supercoppa Italian titles in 4 years. Meanwhile, AC Milan failed to add a single piece of silverware to their trophy room, as the likes of Aquilani, Flamini and Essien failed to fill Pirlo's boots in midfield. Since the architect's departure, Milan have failed to top the league, as they've slumped down the league to mid-table mediocrity and Thursday night football. 2. Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez might have been Europe's top goalscorer in 2016, but back in the 1950s, the original Luis Suarez was making Spanish footballing history. By 1955, he had established himself in Barcelona's first team and began his crusade to end Real Madrid's domestic and European dominance. In 1959, Suarez led the Catalan club to their first title and ignited the competitive rivalry between the 2 giants of Spanish football. Los Blancos had been unbeaten in Europe for 5 years when the number 10 led Barca to defeat their rivals in Madrid's first ever loss in Europe, earning himself the Ballon d'Or. In 1961, Suarez moved to Inter Milan, where he went on to win 3 Serie A titles. While Barcelona have undoubtedly seen players that match and beat Suarez's quality, his creativity and big game performances have built the foundations of the most fierce rivalry in football. 1. Andres Iniesta. Over the last decade or more, Barcelona have been synonymous with class and flair, as their tiki-taka carousel of passing has totally revolutionised world football. Over the course of Pep Guardiola's reign of the Nou Camp, where they won 3 league titles and 2 Champions Leagues between 2009 and 2011, their silky style of play has been embodied by Andres Iniesta. The playmaker first joined Barcelona at 12 years old and over the last 20 plus years has been at the heart of their success. Having played over 700 times in the Blaugrana colours, the Spaniard has won 32 pieces of silverware, soon to be 33 when he will lead the currently undefeated side to collect the La Liga trophy for the final time at the end of the season. While the team he's leaving still boasts the other irreplaceable talent of Messi, Iniesta's vision, creativity and selflessness has helped the Argentinian become the best player the game has ever seen. Not only would Barcelona perhaps not have been such a success without him, but even Messi's career has been brightened by Iniesta's abilities. His final El Clasico saw the Madrid faithful give their rival a standing ovation, a tribute made only to Ronaldinho and Maradona, proving how iconic he has been to Barcelona's success in the 21st century. And in the words of Valverde, a player that just can't be replaced. Thank you for watching. That was top 10 irreplaceable players. Anyone else, let me know in the comments. And if you like that, why don't you check out Zach and Michael, but it wasn't Zach, go see who it was, in Football Monday Out, right there.